This is Daf Chav Test of the Daf Yerushalmi Yomi, according to the Oz V'Hadar / Art Scroll pagination. And we are actually a little bit on Daf Chav Test. We up to Rabbi Yossi Bechanina. This Chanina is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, the ninth line down at the end of the line. Rabbi Bechanina rose to the table. Rabbi Yossi Bechanina, they saw him tabling on Yom Kippur. We don't know if he was going to table for because he was about carry, because he had seen an emission, or he was doing it because he was overly hot. Shein Rechitza Tzoinin, Rechitza. And that would teach us if he was doing it for the purpose of relieving his heat, being overly hot. So then that would teach us about the fundamental principle about Yom Kippur, that washing in cold water is not considered to be washing, and that the Rechitza only be on hot water. But Lo Yadin, we don't know. So we can't resolve that question from here. Hori Rabbi Ba, Kain Tanya. Rabbi Ba Paskin, like the following brisa, which is Hori Rabbi Acha. Rabbi Acha Paskin. It's not actually necessarily a brisa. We know in the Yerushalmi that very often Tanya doesn't mean specifically a brisa. It can mean a member of Amoraim as well. And it seems that Rabbi Ba and Rabbi Acha both Amoraim. So so he comes from the traveling, and his legs were either dirty or hurting. Somebody he was in distress. So then he is allowed to wash them, rinse them in water, even on Yom Kippur. Dani, Ovel Menuda, if you have an Ovel, or a person who's in Cherem, who's of course not allowed to wash, but they came on they had to go on a long trip, they're allowed to wear their shoes. When they come to the city, the town, they should take off their shoes. So on the travel outside the city, they're allowed to wear their shoes. When they come into the city, they have to take them off. It's not just by Ovel and Menuda, it's also by Tisha B'Av and by Tanya Tzibor. Tanya Tzibor meaning the Tanya Tzibor, which the also sound was also in the last segment of the Once for Rain, which Sachs Tainis, and would apply evidently Yom Kippur as well. Kind of Malcolm the Shanogu show Avelim B'Shabbos Sholim. Obviously, doesn't really relate directly to Yom Kippur. There's no wish of Shel Shalom Yom Kippur, but there's an issue of Shel Shalom for an Ovel. Reading an Ovel is not permitted, but on Shabbos there are some places where the minhag is to greet an Ovel, and the places where there's a minhag, they're allowed to greet an Ovel. With the Doram Shalin, and in the south of Eretz Yisrael, the custom was to actually be Shoel B'Shlom an Ovel on Shabbos. The Gemara goes on and says, Rabbi Yoshe Ruba, Rabbi Yoshe the Great, also Asar. I don't think I realized this before, but I think it's never Pasha. Rabbi Yoshe are both called Ruba because they decided the brises. It's the main massage of the brises, so evidently they got that accolade as a result. Rabbi Yoshe Ruba Azal L'Chad Asar went to some place. Chaza Avilai B'Shupsa, and he saw Avelim on Shabbos V'Shabon. And he inquired, he greeted them. I didn't really inquire for their health. He said, I don't know the place of your minhag of your makom. So first of all, here we see the Shalom Aleichem. I don't think the Bavli it appears Shalom Aleichem, but the Yerushalmi does appear a couple of times. The greeting of Shalom Aleichem, which obviously became the customary greeting throughout Klal Yisrael. And he says, I'm not going to give you Shalom Aleichem, minhag of Mikomenu. Today we read the Torah Parshas Vayetze, and Lavan says, Lo Yasa came to Komenu Lasis Hatzir Livnei Bechira. So I saw today my grandfather's Sefer, the Dari Huda, Barab Dobi Yeshachet Zatzal, says that this is a shtoch that Lavan gave to Yaakov. He said, Our makom is not your makom. In your makom, b'mkomchem, you would give the tzar lifnei abechor because you took the brachas, even though the younger and your brother was older. But lo yasakim b'komein. In our place, we don't do that way. So it's a little bit similar over here, right? I don't know what your minhag is, but I'm giving you some according to our minhag. Yes, I have to mishabech Rei Meir kumitzi pari. Yes, I have to told the people sorry that Rei Meir is a great person. Adam gadol, Adam kadosh. He's a holy person. Adam tzanua. He's a humble person or a modest person. Chatzman chama avilai b'shubsa. Once he saw Balaam on Shabbos. B'shalvan, and he inquired after them and greeted them. Amalei, I hate that Masnei Shavche. So the people in Tzipori said, Rabbi Yossi Chalafta, this is the person who you praise, that he's such a great person. Amalei said, Ma'aske, what do you do? Amalei Chamayv B'Shuvsa B'Shalom. He saw Balaam Shabbos and he greeted them. Amalei, Ba'inatun Meida Ma'chele. Do you know you want to know how great he is? Boy, he came to tell you, to teach you. Shein Avel b'Shabbos. There is no such thing as Avel Shabbos. In other words, of course, there's no Avel Persi on Shabbos, and therefore he greeted the Avelim. It says, Birchas Hashem itashir, zu Birchas Shabbos. The bracha of Hashem makes you rich. That is the bracha of Shabbos. Evidently on Shabbos, everybody conducts himself with Ashirus, with earning Shabbos, and therefore everybody is rich on Shabbos, so to speak. Lo yasif etzev imaz avelus, and there's no avelus with it, meaning on Shabbos. And etzev, how do you know etzev is avelus? Netzav hamelech al beno. The king was upset about his son, and this pasuk is talking about a person who is an avel on his son, and that avelus, there's no etzem on Shabbos means there's no avelus on Shabbos. Halacha ches. Ukshemes tavi avdo. When Gamliel's Ebed Tavi passed away, Kilov Tanchumi. He accepted upon him consolation. Amalei said, "Lo, Matan Rabbeinu she'em mekablin tanchumim avodim." Then she used to not mekabel tanchumim on slaves. Amalei said, "Ein Tavi avdi kushar avodim kosher." That's on a regular slave, but on Tavi, who was a kosher, Adam kosher Yisrael, of course, even though he's Eved, he's still Yisrael. So there we are mekabel tanchumim on such avodim. So when it says, "So b'nei chorim acherim mekablin tanchumim aleim." It sounds like other bnei chorim are mekabel tanchumim on them, which seems to be difficult. It says bnei Moshe, alisha da avodim medai kashas, masha al avodim da alma, kemasha bnei chorim afacherim sheinu kropim mekabel tanchumim aleim bitmi avavu lemeimar al avodav. Right? It says ukshemes tavi. I'm sorry, sheinu mekabel tanchumim al avodim. What do you mean avodim? Should be al avodah. Of course, not mekabel tanchumim on avodim, right? That's it's just like not mekabel tanchumim on the bnei chorin, right? It sounds like you mekabel tanchumim on bnei chorin, even they're not related to you, but that's not true. You should say here avodah. So the Gemara says, "Kini masnisa em mekabel tanchumim al havodim," right? Not mekabel tanchumim al havodim, which is a little bit difficult because that sounds like exactly what we just said, which I had a problem with. So the Moshe says, "Kamishane kachi nuscha shneya sheshalom Gamliel b'zeh lashon em kan tchum avodim uficha amalo kain neshchayev adam lomar b'lashon rabo lomar avodav didekai." So they say the way they're saying it is that since we mean avodah, but it says even though it says avodim, it means avodah. Very difficult how to understand the Gemara this way. So the Shaita itself brings down from the Torah Sodom of the Ramban that it seems that the Nusach in front there was Mekabel Tanchumim Aleim El Mishum Dahavi Choshiv Alei Kibrei. Right? So according to this, a totally different gear. So it was Kini Masnisa. He was Mekabel. The answer was not Kini Masnisa. That's but that he considered him like a son, and therefore he is mekabel tanchumim. At least that's how the Torah saw them. If it's not a different gears of the Gemara, it certainly is the pshat in the Gemara that he was on Stam Avodim and Makabel, but this was a special event. Tiny, Ma'aseh Shmeisa the Yeshiv Chosser Rebbe Lezer. So on the other hand, we have a story where it was also in Bavli. Rebbe Lezer Shivcha died Nichsu Tamidav Levatachlon. His family came to console him. Blow Kibel, he would not accept them. Nichas Bivnei Mechotzer. He went to the Chotzer to get away from them. Nichnu Achar, they followed him. Labais went out to Nichsu Achar, they followed him. I'm like, he said, you see. I thought Shatem Nichvim the poison. I could burn you with lukewarm water. You're not getting burnt even with hot water. It was not getting a hint. It says you're not makabel tanchumim on slaves, right? And here, this harks back to the question of the Gemara right at the beginning, which is if you're not makabel tanchumim on other bnei chorim, other than the ones related to you, koshken avodim. It's not makabel on avodim. Rather, mishemes avdo behemto, somebody who's slave or his animal died. Omer lo hamoki malich esoichad. You say to him, Hakadosh Baruch Hu should fill that which you now have become lacking. You should fill the, so to speak, hole which can develop when you lost this item of your possession. So when it says an evidence is like behema, it's not referring here to anything like masusim and some sort of halach and hilchos yichus, although we have those halachas in the Constitution. No, here means it's a belonging. And it's not, because the gifts of the Ramban before, it's not necessarily machloikas. In other words, Tavi Avdo was Keben. That was a unique situation, like the Ramban says. In Rabbi Lezer's case, he probably had no relationship with the Shifcha whatsoever. So therefore, it's for him, it was like a behema in the sense that he lost something which had been part of his household and and of value to him, and therefore he's saying, I don't get tanchumim. You should say to me, I'm mokim malach esroicha. Kadam echre b'chir barado. Tamidei, I'm sorry, Achsei bar Kapara. When B'chir barado, the nephew of Bar Kapara passed away, covered Rish Lakish ilave. Rish Lakish was mekabel tanchumim on him. So to have a rabbi, because he was his Rebbe. Rabbi Shlokish was the Rebbe of Rabbi Chia Barada. Name of Tamid Bar Nashal Chaviv Alei Kabrei. So again, harking back to the Ramban. So we see that the certain person's Talmud is like his son, and therefore he's Mekabel Tanchumim when the Talmud dies. Of Iftar Alei. So he went and said a haftarah. It's like a hesped, right? When you take leave of a person. Dodi Arad Gano, my beloved went down to his garden, La Rukas Abosem, to the garden of fragrances, Liros Baganim, to check out the gardens. I'm sorry, Liros Baganim Lo Tzurcha. It doesn't say to see the gardens. Elo Dodi Arad Gano, right? Liros I'm gonna say it's the other way around. Doyer Gano Liros Babosem. Liros Baganim. Let's say Gano. Just say Baganim. Doyer Gano. He went down to his Gan. Liros Baganim to see the Ganim. Why Gano? So Dodi's HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So the beloved is HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Yerad Gano Zeh Ha'olam. He came down to the world, which is his garden. La Rugas Abosem, to the patch of fragrances. Elu Yisrael, those are the Jews, right? So the L'ros Baganim Elu Umas Olam. So he's saying the way Rish Lakish thinks he learned the pasuk is that the Gano is the world in general, right? Because the world is Gan, and there are two parts in that Gan. There's the Rugas Abosem, which is the specialized area for the special fragrances. That's Am Yisrael, and then the other Ganim, which are the Umos Olam, the rest of the nations of the world. And then it says he gathered the flowers. El Tzadikim Shemesalkon Bibeneim. These are the Tzadikim, the flowers which he removes from among the ganim. Where's analogous to? The Melech Shelo ben a king had a son. And it was overly much precious to him. Ma'asa Melech, what did the king do? Natlo Pardes. He planted for him an orchard. When the son did the will of his father, and he would see what wonderful plants there are, and he would plant that plant into his garden. When his son would anger him, he would cut down all the saplings. Kach. So what's the nimshal? B'shasha Yisrael osim tzitron shemakon. Am Yisrael does what's on Hashem. Because Baruch Chaz b'kom kulo. Because Baruch goes throughout the world. For always a tzaddik. He sees what person is a righteous person. B'umos ha'olam, in the nations of the world. U'meviyom v'dav kol Yisrael. So the fascinating thing. He goes to Rugas HaBoisim. That's Am Yisrael. But then he goes to the Ganim to see tzaddikim and umos ha'olam. Because since Am Yisrael is doing the Ratzon Hashem, so then he's like the Ben who Ratzon Hashem. So then, Hashem is very happy. He wants to help develop his son's garden. He goes and brings promising saplings from the other gardens. So because of Bosem, those are the tzaddikim Umasom, and he comes and he calls them to Megar and join Am Yisrael. Like Yisrael Rachav, it's Gevei Tzedek who join Am Yisrael. B'shashim Achisin also. But when the son gets him angry, that Rugas HaBoisim is not performing the way it's supposed to be performing. Masalik tzaddikim shebeneim. He removes the tzaddikim from amongst them. In other words, the tzaddikim die because of the Averos of Am Yisrael. Tzaddik nefs of mivnei hara, because other people are doing bad. So therefore, Kosh Baruch Hu removes the tzaddikim. So he's not bringing our tzaddikim from outside to join us, but he's even removing the tzaddikim from within us. Now we're already up until Lamed Arav, so we'll stop here for today.